today we're going to talk about the MBR. For those who are uneducated, the monthly business review. I'm a fan. You're not.
No, that don't work.
Tell me.
Okay. Interestingly enough, MBR, I think there's a TLA, a three-letter abbreviation that was born out of the mothership of S3, whereby we used to spend some time to make sure that everybody within the business had their moment to speak to their boss about them. And I think we have done pretty much everything that we ever could to make these the most useful tools in the business. We have asked, we provided them with the data. So it came from a centralized source. So we all were measuring the same things. And they had this data, and then they had to come up with a get well plan, a get better plan, an Excel plan, or to ask for help plan. And it was up for them to use that data. That was the best iteration we ever got with this, but still was dog shit. And it really never achieved what it was supposed to achieve. And the purpose being, if you think about S3 and my fiefdom at the time, 60 P&Ls, there are maybe 3 or 4 businesses where there were more than like 100 people, but still within the clusters and pods, nobody was driving a business more than maybe 12, 15 people. Yeah. If I'm managing a bank of desks of 15 people, I know what's going on. I know what you're doing. I know what your drivers are. I know what you're working towards. I know what the pain points are, and I know what you're going through. And I know if you're in a good run. I know if you're going through a bad run. 15 people, I can get underneath the skin of you, and I would prefer to spend my time rather than give you an hour. So an hour a month is what most people think they should give people. 15 hours talking about shit you already know. It's just pointless, right? What's the most important asset any recruitment business leader has?
Their people.
Their time. Their people change, their time don't. It's their time, it's their time. So if you are going to do it, make it 10 minutes. And if you're going to do it for 10 minutes and it's pointless, and then do it for the people who you need to. I would much prefer to walk people around the block or say, I'm going to go get some lunch, come with me. And I would just have that informal moment, one where you're off guard. It's not in a room where it's all about negativity, performance. If you're doing well, I'm telling you, you're doing well all the time, right? Positive reinforcement. But I've got a page here of stuff. One, it's very stressful. If you're underperforming and you have to sit in a room with your boss, that isn't the place to be. What you want to be doing is walking around the block and talking about stuff. The only time you should ever relate to KPIs, in my opinion, KPIs are there for one reason only. At the end of a month, you look at somebody's performance and then you look at what their triggers were, right? So if you're driving people on 2-hour drivers and 2-hour sprints, you don't need KPIs. You need KPIs at the end of the month to say your conversion rate from this to this is a bit woeful. Is that because I was off the ball, or do I need to give you some help with that? Or, what would you want to do about that? Because if you can tweak that dial, we can do something about it. That's the only time to use a KPI. The times of managing people on, over a course of a month, you're supposed to get this many candidates to speak to this many customers, to send these many CVs out, to get this many jobs. That's bullshit. It doesn't work. It's just, it's kind of going back to the 70s. A walk around the block is 100 times more valuable than anything else you do. If you haven't filled somebody's emotional piggy bank up, so you haven't got the right to actually, ask for favors, ask for effort, and ask for drivers, then everything you do is falling on deaf ears. So it's pointless and a fruitless exercise. So don't do that. Sometimes you aren't the best person to give people advice. So although you're running a team of 15, that person might have a massive attachment or a massive longing to be that person over there, Steve. Why don't you ask Steve to do the walk around the block to get the guy back on form? Now, I personally think MBRs are a waste of time for a small business, because I don't want to pretend to be the boss. I don't want to pretend to be any better than you. I I just want you to do the best that you can. What I want to do is just give you a little rub and go, go on, mate, we can do this. And what do you need, right? You don't need to spend this time. Go for it.
Do you know the problem with that?
There isn't one.
There is. How many P&Ls did you run? 60?
60.
How many other people do you know that run 60 P&Ls? I'll tell you how many I know. None. Therefore, there's only one you. And therefore, only you can do it like that. We have to appeal to the masses. We have to appeal to the mediocre, to the better than mediocre, to the excellent, to the great, to the good, right? The problem with MBRs is not the MBR itself. The problem is the way that people do them. The problem is people make them tick box exercises. People move them, shift them. They do them from an archaic old form that's been cobbled together over 6 Word documents over 15 years. And the technical term is it's just a bit shit. They do them for too long. So they do them for an hour. Your watch should come off. It should go on the desk. It should say, we've got 30 minutes. We're going to make the best of this time. And during that time, you should focus on 3 things. Firstly, the 2 20/80s. So the first 20 is 20% rear view mirror, 80% setting the tone for the month. The second is you should only speak for 20% of the time because this is your consultant's genuine opportunity to get anything they want to talk about off their chest in a private forum. And the third thing is you should be focusing on their why more than anything else, their extrinsic goal. Why are they here? Why are they going through this? Why are they getting up in the dark, going home in the dark? Why are they not having lunch? Why are they allowing everyone to say no to them? So my challenge is not with the MBR, it's the actual archaic system and the way that we do them in the businesses. That's my thoughts.